I am talking to two big players in the world of New Who. They have been in probably more episodes than anyone except the actor or actress playing the Doctor. So please welcome our monstery foes, Mr. Matthew Doman and Mr. Matthew Rohman. The Mats, how are you guys?
Very well, thank you. How's it going?
Not bad at all, mate. Feeling a bit under the weather, bit, the wrong way round kind of thing.
Definitely, you're not looking 100%. It must be said. It must be said. How are you both doing in these slightly odd times, Mr. Rohman? How are you bearing up?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. To be honest, lots of people have been complaining about bored, not much to do. But I think Matt can probably verify this. It's just like being between jobs. Just extended periods of time for us. But it's fine. I'm kind of looking after my parents right now, so that's all that matters, to be honest.
Good. Yeah, I guess right now that's pretty much the stuff that is matters. Letting everyone focus. Mr. Doman, talking of focus, you are back with us and the correct way round. How are you doing at this odd time?
Well, I thought it'd be fun if I put myself the right way round. First of all, just so I could feel a bit better. But yeah, I'm doing all right, to be honest with you, man. It's as you say, it's very odd, but there's a lot of peace around the place. It's at night time. The centre of Cardiff has never been so quiet. As in, when you go out your back garden or whatever, it's really quiet. It's chilled. The world.
I've got kids screaming in my back garden.
Really? Oh, mate. Oh, get it. Okay, I feel for you there.
Sorry.
But, yeah. No,
I mean, they are your kids. They're not just trapped there, right? I mean...
No, it's like kids in other people's gardens.
Oh, my goodness.
Unlock the padlock, Roman, okay? Let them out.
You've been feeding them toilet roll. That's why everyone's hoarding, right?
Yeah.
I should probably drag this onto some sort of point or other, really. We are here to talk about Doctor Who. A particular focus today is all about the Cybermen. But you guys have done a lot more than that. Now, Mr. Rohman, I'm going to have to use your surnames like some terrible unit orderly. Mr. Rohman, you back in Series 4, Partners in Crime, I think was your first, wasn't it?
Yes, very well done. I think it was before that, actually. It was the Adipose episode. Was it? Oh, yeah, that was Series
the Adipose
4,
episode called Partners in Crime.
Correct. Yes. Sorry. For some reason, I thought you said episode 4.
So season 4, yeah.
Yes.
So how was that? So it's your first experience. By this point, the program was already huge. Were you aware you were kind of joining a monster, so to speak?
Well, I got a funny feeling. I'd already done Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures before that, so obviously I was very, very well aware of the scale of it. But to be honest, it was just kind of felt like just another job, because obviously you've got to go in there as a professional. You can't be like, oh my God, this is so excited. It's just, you go in there, you do a job, do it well, go home. But it's blown up into something huge, and it's great to be a part of its history, essentially.
And quite a significant part of its history. Mr. Doman, slightly later on for you, Pandorica Opens, the following series, Pandorica Opens was your first episode there. How was that?
Me?
Yeah.
No. My first episode was back in the Tennant kind of era.
Was it? I'm telling you now, IMDb is a liar, a dirty liar. So tell me, what was your first episode?
My first episode was the one where Rose, I can't remember, Rise of the Cybermen. It was the first one when they came back, and then all the ones with the Cybers Industries ones. Then I was the CGI scanning model for all the ghosts turning into.
I thought you see. This is why one should never just rely.
I started on Mr. Tennant series. He was amazing. So that's where I started.
Well, listen, if you get really bored in lockdown, you need to update your IMDb. Look, there's something you can crack on
like I do.
Can I also quickly go back to, you're calling us Mr. Doman and Mr. Rohman?
Yeah.
We get so much confusion on set, especially when we're cybers. It just made me think of this story, which is quite funny. Because obviously when we got the helmets on, they're this close to our face and you can't really hear what we're saying. And I remember during the last series we did, Lauren, the third AD, would come up to one of us and be like, okay, who's in this one? And we just go, Matt. And Matt, which Matt? And it'd be like, Matt or Owen. It's like, Rohman or Doman. The amount of confusion we get is unbelievable, but it's funny.
How do you resolve that? I mean, could you just have nicknames or something?
You don't. It's more fun to let the confusion happen.
It's funny though, because when we're all in full gear, we can tell each other apart just by how we walk.
Right.
But everyone else doesn't. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's Simon, that's Matt, that's Mickey.
Brilliant.
But then people are just like, who's in here? I'm like, it's Matt Rohman.
I love the idea of this strange little Cyberman club where you all know who the others are, but nobody else does. So
you can even tell by...
Go on.
Sorry. I was going to say, you can even tell literally by just their stance. Literally, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so it's cool. We all know.
The old body language kicking in there. Now, the first time you worked together, again, this might be an entire lie. So I'm going to leave it with you. When was the first time you guys were on set together?
I can actually say for a fact we were on Gavin and Stacey doing a beach scene. But I know I don't know if it's okay for me to say this, but Matt was in an accident and subsequently forgot.
Oh.
Yeah. I got hit on the head with a car and ended up in a coma. Thus proving it takes more than being hit on the head. Well, I recovered, obviously. So, as you can tell, thus proving that it takes more than being hit on the head with a car to kill a Cyberman.
Wow.
You need something a lot stronger.
That's stuff. So what about the? We're very glad you've recovered as well as you have.
Thank you, man.
What about the first time together on Doctor Who? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't. Just because of that injury, really. But Matt.
Oh, Jesus, I can't remember. Was it the
Daleks?
Was it Day of the Doctor? No, I haven't done any Dalek work, mate.
Haven't you?
No. It's one of the Holy Trinity I haven't done yet.
I was doing Daleks on Day of the Doctor, I think. Maybe I met you. Maybe we worked together then.
Yeah, because I was the Cyberman during that.
Yeah, that would have been that then. Yeah, that would have been that. Yeah, so we would have worked together then. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Resolved.
So I talked to a lot of actors who are not really under any makeup, who aren't playing monsters, definitely not playing cyborgs of any kind. And their experiences, one particular experience of being on set, you guys, it must be completely different. Mr. Doman, what do you need to, how is your day different on set as a monster rather than being yourself?
How much time you got? How much time have you got?
I mean, I'm imagining you get there earlier. I don't know.
Well, it depends.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Like Whispermen were like 4 hours early, so our call times were like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then like 18-hour days. That was pretty crazy. Cybermen used to be worse in the David Tennant series because it took an hour to get the suits on. But like as they've got better and better, then they've got easier and easier to get on, to the point of you can now almost, well, no, I was going to say you can almost put one on yourself, but you can't really. But like the flex in them does make it a little bit easier to put on, because I used to find the shoes. Oh, the shoes, man, they were terrible. Of everything to put on, you could not get the bridge of your foot right in through the Cyberman shoes, and literally they would take bones out with them because it was so tight. Oh mate, it was ridiculous. And you were sat there, they took the longest time. You were there for probably about 10 minutes trying to get your foot into a shoe. It was crazy.
I can confirm, because me and Simon Carew with the Cybermen, which they redid for the last 2 episodes with Ashad, the lone Cyberman. We were always flanking him.
Absolutely.
And I can confirm that. They're all size 13 boots as standard, but like the ridge around your ankle is so tight, and they just flop around when you move your feet. Yeah,
they do, don't they?
There's a reason why we stamp when we walk. It's just because there's no bloody outside walking.
We used to always say, especially when the first was like when we were in the power station filming. I think it was the first couple of nights. And basically, it was like, we always used to say that if somebody pushed you over as a Cyberman, you were like a turtle. You just, the old ones, like, there's no way you'd be on your back going, help me get him. I'm a Cyberman. I'm big, nasty, and mean. I'll kill you. If you help me out first, please. Yeah.
Considering with the Cyber Warriors, it's a very little known fact. We could not sit down in them. So we, the Cyber Warriors, the new ones, we were stood up all the time for the 14 hours we were in them. Only when we sort of partially de-rigged for lunch was the only time we actually got to sit down.
Good grief. When you say partially de-rigged, do you mean take your trousers off?
No, because obviously there's mounts of undersuit, and so for lunch we just take off like the arms with all the spikes on, and mainly.
And then you eat the spikes.
Huh?
You take the armor off of the suits and then eat the suits for lunch. That's a bit weird, mate. That's a bit expensive. sorry. Couldn't do this.
Yeah, the poor guy's printing it every night. I'm just like, these bloody essays, honestly.
Why are these Cybermen costing so much this time? Why are the production costs going through the roof?
No, so if you ever get in a fight with a Cyberman, just push him over. He won't be able to get up.
Has it actually happened? Has anyone? I need to word this carefully because we're going out during the daytime. Have any of you ever ended up flat on your back on set?
No, I've broken a few props because of it, but I've luckily never fallen over yet.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, I've been lucky enough to never fall over, but in a live event once. Someone put their hand where they shouldn't have, put it that way, and it wasn't me. Yeah, it ended pretty quickly after that. I walked out.
Wow.
No,
okay.
Sorry,
so you've been involved in the live events. What, the Doctor Who Live, the Symphonic Spectaculars?
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. I was meant to be the teller during that, but I was too short. So they got someone who was 7'6", and he was still too short for the outfit.
Oh my words! Sorry, 7'6" was too short.
Yeah, they wanted the original teller. I think was 7'11" or something stupid like that.
Okay, okay. Good for him.
But now, in terms of live events, I've only done like the things with the Jadoon when they did like the promo thing in central London and the Liverpool event. What was that called again, Matt?
Showcase.
Thank you.
Liverpool Showcase?
Yes.
Excellent stuff. Mr. Doman, therefore, you sounded very much like you had been involved in some of the musical extravaganzas.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to do 2 Albert Hall performances. Played various monsters in them, but I also played like the Air Raid Warden as well. So that was my first experience, I think, in the Albert Hall, or second experience in the Albert Hall, and they chucked me out. They were like, "Oh, here you go. This is what you've got to say, and this is your microphone." I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah. This is going out globally. So when you, sorry, I wasn't picking my nose then. I was scratching. I was itching on the side, right? Just to make that clear, everybody. And they were just like, "Yeah. So this is going out globally,
no pressure,
live, and here's your microphone." And I was like, "Oh, brilliant. And these are my lines." Like, yeah. I was like, "Cool." And they're like, "Yeah, so no pressure." And I was like,
"Wow."
Thanks.
Wow. And you had no prior warning. It was, off you go.
No. They gave me the lines. They gave the lines first and stuff. But like when I went on there, I didn't realise. It's one of those things. I thought, oh, it's the Albert Hall. I was about to say, oh, it's just the Albert Hall, but it's not. It's not just the Albert. But what I mean in terms of it's a theatre. Yeah. You're only performing to that theatre kind of thing, as it were. So that's what you've got in your head.
It's only the Albert Hall, darling.
Yeah, but shut up, Roman. You know what I mean. But then all of a sudden, when someone goes to you, "Oh, here's a microphone," and you're like, "Oh yeah, cool. So we can all go around all the Albert Hall," and they're like, "Yeah, but it's also live globally." So you're not just performing in the Albert Hall, you are performing on every radio station all over the one.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you're just like, so suddenly it goes from being, which is why I say just the Albert Hall, to being, very far away.
It must be horrible to be so famous, Matt, honestly.
Well, you should know.
So you both of you have worked with quite a number of different doctors, and both of you most recently with Jodie. Now, Mr. Rohman, how did you find the experience working on the series now differs to, it was quite a number of years ago now from when you first began? How has that changed over time?
I really don't know how to describe that, really, because mainly the stuff when I first sort of started in Doctor Who, I was just purely background extra. So I wasn't having any contact with, the main cast or what have you.
Yeah.
And it's only in the past 3-4 years where I've had to actually have more monster roles, not only interacting with principal cast, etc., but like it was last season where, I had an entire scripted part as the Kablam Man, which was just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Especially like for someone who has no acting training whatsoever. It's just like, but yeah, it's, as I said, it's just a huge honor and a huge privilege. And it's one of those things where sometimes I have to sort of sit down and say, I'm getting paid for this. This is awesome.
Yeah. That's a lovely thing. That is a lovly thing. Mr. Doman there, how have you found changes as time's gone on?
Well, the biggest change for me now is that we get credited, which is always nice. But the biggest change for me was when it was between Tennant and Matt Smith,
right?
Because the whole crew changed. I haven't been able to do as much recently because of the breaking of the legs thing. I haven't. I've done a couple of days on set and stuff, but I didn't really find it that much different, to be honest with you, from in the Matt Smith era kind of thing.
Just another day at the office, isn't it, mate?
Just like the only another day.
Yeah, just another one of them gigs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, just turn up and do it and go home. That's all right. We stop for lunch. We're done.
I'm going to get killed after this, aren't I? People are actually going to hunt me down and kill me. Well, they already were, let's be honest about it.
You'll have to have a T-shirt done. It's only the Royal Albert Hall. I think if anyone can lay claim to not being able to say just another day at work, it's definitely you two guys. Mr. Rohman, can I ask, in terms of the whole career of Who that you've had thus far, what's been your favourite episode to work on? It might be a basic question, but I want to know.
Well, I keep saying it all the time. It was definitely Kablam for me, just because a thing about monster work as well. When you get hired onto an episode, there's normally what they call like the main monster they would use for all the close-ups and all the bits and pieces, and and like that person would sort of obviously be not kind of in charge, but then we would kind of use them for reference for continuity, etc. For example, John Davey, I think it's fair to say that he is the main Dalek. So if there's Dalek work, we all go to him for a reference point.
Yep.
But this was the first monster creature, shall we say, that, I was sat down in a room with Kate, the director. She gave me the script and said, okay, how do you think this creature should move?
Okay.
And I actually physically designed the movements for it. And then I was obviously the main, where I basically was instructed to teach everyone else the movements that we had established. And that was just huge for me, honestly. It was just, it was just...
That makes sense. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Because obviously at this point, this was obviously Jodie's first series, so everything beforehand, everything was established. Yes. So like Matt would agree, like, okay, we're Cybermen, we all know how it goes. They all have, arms straight, stomp, stomp, stomp kind of thing. And this one is the first time where I physically designed the movements, even the like creepy little head tilt. And and I can say that's all me, which is
fantastic. Well, it's a lovely way to be involved. You're building that far more than from the ground up, really.
Yes, completely. And then interacting with Jodie, Tosin, all those guys on a regular basis as well was also pretty damn cool. You know,
that's cool. That is cool. That's cool.
Oh,
Mr. Mr. Doman, your favourite? What's your favourite been?
Ooh, well, probably the. I suppose I got a couple of different ones for a couple of different reasons. I mean, I love the Bells of St. Trinian, was it? Because
Bells
I got
of St.
to
Trinians. Bells of St.
not
John.
Trinian, sorry, John. That's one. Sorry, yeah.
St. Trinity's at the girls' school, isn't it?
He looks really good in the uniform.
You've not. How have you seen those pictures? I swear I got them taken down.
Is he putting my IMDb himself?
Yeah.
No, that was great because, well, basically I was doubling Matt on the motorbikes, and it was just great because I got paid to ride motorbikes around, which was amazing.
Cool.
So that was brilliant, and I got to double Matt as well, which is obviously fantastic.
Very good.
Then I loved Silence, where I played a caretaker, like Peter Capaldi. Well, the doctor's, a dude that comes into Peter Capaldi's. A dude that comes into the warehouse, and the person I mean in Silence. So when I played him, that was cool. But I mean, all in all, to be honest with you, the best episodes for me are always the first three I did, which is always the first three Cybermen episodes, because whenever I watch those episodes, everything came from there, you know, and my entire, well, for me, everything came from there in Doctor Who, and because before that I was modelling, I wasn't doing acting, and you know,
did you also shoot the Master as well?
Shoot the Master?
Yeah, there's you.
Oh
you
God,
actually...
yes. I was a Cyber Brigadier, wasn't I? Yes, well remembered, mate. Well remembered. So I was a Cyber Brigadier, but that was pretty. Oh God, yeah, mate. That was pretty amazing as well. Shooting the Master, and being the Cyber Brigadier. Yeah. So basically, there's just lots and lots of things. But one of the major reasons I love this, the first three Cybermen, millions of reasons for it, but that bit at the end, where two bits where David goes up to the wall, and that acting he does on the wall is phenomenal. But then when they're talking to Rose, he's talking to Rose in a different thing, and he says, "I'm burning up a sun just to say goodbye." Oh, it's just heart-wrenching, and the whole thing is just fantastic. And so that's
That's fantastic. Our time is pretty much up. I am going to, however, ask you both. I know, right? But I'm going to ask you one last question, which is: imagine you're back for the next series. You're playing Cybermen, and thinking about what it is like to play a Cyberman. Someone new turns up on set for the first time being a Cyberman. Let's start with you, Mr. R. Matt R., what one piece of advice would you give that player? What's the most important piece of advice to give someone who's being a Cyberman for the first time?
Go to the toilet before you get in costume. Why are you laughing? I'm being deadly serious.
No, I'm quite sure you are. It's just, it conjured up in my head. Was there a time when maybe someone forgot?
No, basically the Cyber Warriors, and the Cyber Masters from the new series, they were the first time in the show's 50-year running, or to my knowledge, where this meeting has been upgraded by the host. Oh, okay.
Look at that. Who knew?
Sorry. So the Cyber Warriors and the Cyber Masters was the first time they actually had flies so we can go to the toilet. Beforehand, we were stuck, essentially.
Imagine, well, you don't have to imagine. I'm asking everyone at home to imagine a job where a luxury in your job is that you can go to the toilet. Think about that, guys. Think about that. Mr. Doman, what would your piece of advice be to someone being a Cyberman for the first time?
Before we put you through the initiation rites, always remember, never say anything. It's between us.
Very wise. Very wise. I believe that's true, and it has happened.
Hey, I had nothing because Rohman took the best one, so.
And he's absolutely right by the sound of it. Listen, gents, our time has come to an end. It's been an absolute pleasure for me, and I'm sure for everyone at home. So as we have been doing, I would like to ask everyone at home to give a huge virtual round of applause to Matt Doman and Matt Rohman. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon. Cheers.